Live here in Babylon Village's historic Argyle Theater, presenting Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for the Good Samaritan Hospital. A night full of entertainment and appearances by your local heroes and important figures, featuring the COVID Fighters, a band made up of rock star doctors, Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band, a special speech by Good Samaritan's very own president, Ruth E. Hennessy, and many more surprises and appearances you won't want to miss. Hosted by Lily Stolzberg and Tim Kelchner. And now, get ready for tonight's virtual benefit. Give it up for Lily and Tim.
Good evening. Welcome to Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Samaritan Hospital. I'm Lily Stolzberg. Maybe you know me from News 12 Long Island.
And I'm Tim Kelchner from Catholic Health. We're so happy that you could join us this evening for our show.
Yeah, we have such a great night coming up. This is actually the first ever virtual benefit, and there's so many great acts coming, and it's all going to happen in the beautiful Argyle Theater here in Babylon. We're so excited to be here.
I feel like stars up on the stage. I mean, I know you kind of are a star, but for me, this is a big deal. We're up on stage. We're having fun tonight. It should be a great show.
Yes, we have live performances, like I said. We have some great interviews with people in the community who really stepped up during the COVID pandemic, and you're going to hear from them and their amazing contributions to Good Sam and the community, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited.
It is, and we can't thank our sponsors enough for this evening. First of all, the medical staff at Good Samaritan Hospital. Thank you so much. We appreciate that support. E.W. Howell and also Progressive Emergency Physicians. Thank you, everyone. You guys are the ones who made this show possible tonight.
Yes, and it is going to be some show, so stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Coming up next, Ruth Hennessy. Our presenting sponsor,
at Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
In 2018, Ruth Hennessy came to Good Samaritan Hospital after leading St. Francis Hospital. And during her time here, she has done some amazing accomplishments. She's seen the creation of the Pediatric Emergency Department. She's also seen the creation of the Cancer Institute. And she's done so much more. But never in her career would she ever imagine that she would be leading one of the busiest hospitals during the pandemic. So let's give it up for Ruth Hennessy.
Good evening. Thank you, Lily, for the introduction, and thank you to everyone joining us tonight as we host our first ever virtual benefit. As Lily shared, never in my career could I have imagined what we have been through as a community over the past year. While COVID-19 remains a very real concern and one that we continue to fight and watch closely, tonight is a celebration of resiliency. Tonight we gather virtually to celebrate not just the incredible efforts of our healthcare heroes and all of the essential workers who reported to work when the rest of the world was asked to do their part by staying home. Others in the first responder community include grocery workers, gas station attendants, public servants, postal workers, delivery people, and those in transportation, just to name a few. But also to recognize the role that you all played and our community played in this battle. I know that I speak for every Good Samaritan employee when I offer heartfelt thank you for the car parades, the flyovers, the music, the letters and pictures, the food, the donations, both philanthropic and of personal protective equipment, and special care packages for our staff. Thank you for all of it. In fact, those words, thank you, can never adequately express our gratitude or convey the impact for your generosity has had on our staff during some of the darkest moments we could have ever experienced. Tonight we join our voices and raise our glasses to celebrate that we are indeed stronger together. Because we are in this together, we have been from the start, and that is what has brought us to this point today. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and with your support and thanks to the past support, we can persevere and we will rise and we will thrive. Some of you may know this, that this virtual benefit is taking the place of our annual black tie dinner, one of the hospital's most important fundraisers of the year. Throughout Good Samaritan's history, fundraising events like our ball, the Golf Classic, the Luau, and the Good Sam Jam have raised more than $20 million, and many of the hospital's medical advancements and capital improvements have been made possible because of that critical funding. Tonight would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors and underwriters. I would like to take a moment to offer special thanks to our presenting sponsor, the medical staff of Good Samaritan. Also, our silver sponsors, Progressive Emergency Physicians and E.W. Howell. We are one of the largest hospitals on the island and part of the largest faith-based health system, Catholic Health, in the metropolitan area, and our role within the system is more important than ever. As supporters of Good Sam, you play a vital role in our story. Today, Good Samaritan Hospital is a 537-bed community hospital that provides advanced tertiary level care in many specialties. Open heart surgery, stroke, and brain aneurysm interventions, cancer care, pediatric care, and adult and pediatric trauma. Over the years, our programs and services have grown to better meet the needs of the community, but one thing has remained the same: our commitment to our core values of integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence. These values represent what makes Good Samaritan different in our approach to delivering quality and comprehensive health care, and they are the key elements in advancing our mission as part of Catholic Health. Today, thank you all again for tuning in tonight. Thank you all for your continued generosity and support. We put together a great program for you this evening, and I sincerely hope that you will feel inspired listening to the stories that will be shared, and I hope that you find yourself moved to laugh, cry, and maybe even dance. Enjoy the program and know that all of us at Good Samaritan Hospital are here for you and your loved ones whenever you need us. Thank you for being there for all of us over the past year.
Ruth, thank you for those beautiful words. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Ruth Hennessy, the president of Good Samaritan Hospital. I'm standing right outside the main entrance and the chapel. As you all may know, we've been very busy this past year dealing with the coronavirus response. But in addition to that, we've been working on some updated advancements to help provide better support for our clinical programs to better serve the community. So we'd like to take a minute and share those with you. So come on a walk with us. Here we are in Mother Baby, such an important part of Good Samaritan Hospital. Nearly 3,000 babies are born each year here. And look at who I found, Dr. John Vullo, who's our vice chair for OBGYN. Dr. Vullo is a valued member of our medical staff. He's been with us for more than 20 years. During this time, he has served as the associate chairman for the Department of OBGYN, as well as the associate program director for the OBGYN residency training program here at Good Samaritan Hospital. As we continue to transform and strengthen our commitment to the women's service line, I am pleased to announce that effective on June 1, Dr. Vullo will join us, the chairman of the Department of OBGYN. Yay! We're so thrilled that we were able to do this. So good morning, Dr. Vullo.
Thank you very much, Ruth. We're looking forward to all of the planned changes at Good Samaritan. These were planned over the last few years, but as you know, we had a little bit of a delay, but now we're moving full speed ahead. I'm looking forward to taking over a very valuable department where the attendings have done a great job providing service to women in our community. My goals hopefully will be to continue growing the department and bringing state-of-the-art, compassionate care to the patients in our community. What I really would like to do is to improve the women's service line by bringing in different departments and specialties. We find that clinical care is improved when you bring other departments involved into our own department. Our core is at the maternal-fetal medicine, gynecologic oncology, and the urogynecology departments. We're bringing new subspecialists on board, which are going to help the attendings that choose to use Good Samaritan as a place to bring their patients and give them care. So we're looking forward to all these changes.
That's great. In an effort to further advance our women's health program at Good Sam, I am pleased to share that in August we will welcome 2 new clinical leaders to the team. Dr. Lee will join us as the new Chief of GYN Oncology, and Dr. McCreechan will also be joining him as a physician in the Division of GYN Oncology. In addition to these new leadership appointments, I also am thrilled to share with you that we're in the process of modernizing our mother-baby units. This year we will open a 3rd dedicated C-section suite in our labor and delivery unit. We'll update our neonatal intensive care unit, which is an incredible resource to the program here and something just so important for the care that we provide. We will also convert all of our postpartum rooms to private suites, each with their own bathroom, mini fridge, comfortable accommodations, so that families can begin bonding in the most supportive and peaceful environment possible. Finally, we look forward to developing a special maternal health awareness program that will support mothers who are identified as high risk for cardiovascular disease during their pregnancies by providing them with resources and dedicated coaching to ensure that their health is closely monitored and any potential issues are identified in advance so that corrective action can be taken to improve health and wellness. This program I'm so excited about because it was a vision of Dr. Bulow's going back several years. I know when we first started to work together, and we'll finally be able to have the opportunity to bring this to fruition.
This is a perfect example of collaboration between the different departments. We have a robust and excellent cardiovascular department here between our open heart program and the cardiology program that we have. By working together, we really believe we can identify women at high risk for cardiovascular disease and improve their health, not just while they're pregnant, but in the future, and hopefully have primary prevention of cardiovascular disease.
Very, very important to serving our community. Thank you, Dr. Bulow. On to our next stop.
You're welcome.
Welcome back. We're with 2 really special ladies. We have Dana DeRuvo and Wendy Scow of the Kismet Fire Department Auxiliary.
Yes.
I got that right. And you guys live in that community right across the Great South Bay, correct?
Yes, directly across.
Yes, and it is a small, beautiful little community, but it has done some big things. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, Wendy and I'm the president, she's the secretary of the Fire Department Auxiliary, as you mentioned, and our mission is to help support the fire department that keeps 250 homes safe year-round, whether people are living there or not. And especially in the past year of COVID, they were extra stressed. So we do a lot of fun, F-U-N, and fund, F-U-N-D, raising to help buy gear, equipment, security systems, sound systems, to keep our members of the fire department safe and functioning.
And what was life like for you guys during the past year in your community?
It was very quiet, but we had to make sure that everybody maintained safety with masks, distancing, and things like that.
Yeah, and you guys have been a really big part of Good Sam, and you have a beautiful relationship with
Yes,
them. So
we
let's
do.
talk a little bit about what you've done for the hospital during this time.
Well, Good Samaritan is the go-to hospital when somebody needs to be taken off because of a medical emergency. And just getting to know Chrissy and Kelly have been a wonderful experience. So we're just so honored to be able to be in a partnership with them. In fact, we'd like to donate a check right now, and I am a nurse, so I like to take care of my fellow nurses, and being that it was just Nurses Week, we'd like to offer a check to the hospital to help give a breakfast in honor of nurses for Nurses Week.
That is a beautiful thing. I
Thank
mean, you're
you.
supporting the staff then, you're supporting them now, and everyone thanks you for that, and thank you for that check. And, you know, they rely so much on donations, and if you would like to get involved, take a look at that number on the bottom of your screen. You can get involved that way, too. Ladies, thank you so much, and thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it all.
Coming up next, Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band. A special thank you to our following sponsors.
Good morning, my name is Tim Mooney. I'm president and owner of Fire Island Ferries in Bay Shore. Fire Island Ferries was founded in 1948 as a ferry service exclusively to Ocean Beach at the time. Since then, it's expanded from a 4-boat fleet, and now we have 29 boats in the fleet. servicing 8 communities on the western end of Fire Island, as well as providing the water taxi service for the entire island. And we do all the freight as well for the beach. Well, I was born here and raised in Bayshore, went to Bayshore High School, and you know, my father has been with this business. He was with it since 1948 and has always been a contributor to the community. I felt that we needed to continue that effort, and along the way I was recruited into the Lions Club by John Cochran and participated in that. Also, I'm a member of the Board of Trustees for Malloy College, and it's just something that I think we need to do as a community, give back. You know, the ferry community here on Long Island is very active, and we support that. Bayshore has been very supportive of us. Most of our employees come from the Bayshore, Islip, West Islip area, and they've been providing a stream of great kids for us for the last 70 plus years. The initial reaction to the COVID was panic and desperation. The first month or so that we were operating here, our ridership was down 85%, and that was a pretty scary proposition for us. And the requirements that were being put upon us, were ones that we could manage and we're cooperating with and could make work, but we needed the people to ride the boat, and so fortunately things started to improve come the months of June last year, and the ridership for the summer, and we ended up in a much better spot than I originally anticipated. And when it was all said and done, we took some actions with regard to security on the boats, mandating masks and things of that nature right from the start. And the populace was very cooperative. We had very little problems, and we had a good summer. Our employees were safe and healthy, our riders were safe and healthy, and that's what we were looking for. Well, as hard as our job was to interface with the public, we felt that first responders and the healthcare workers were ones that were directly in the front line, and they were dealing with people that they knew were sick and knew were in trouble at that point. And we were out in the open and fresh air out on a ferry and enjoying a much better atmosphere than the frontline workers were. And we decided that that was something that was easy for us to do, and I knew people would appreciate it on the other end. And when this thing is all over, I know they're going to come out and support Fire Island Ferry, support Fire Island, and we want to give back. It all came together, and it was very interesting to, we have quite a few things that we're going to keep in place after COVID that wouldn't have come about unless we had COVID, and it forced our hand, and we played the hand, and a lot of things were for the better. Well, last month we acquired a 52-foot boat from a company in Philadelphia. We brought it up, and it's really a small, for lack of a better term, cocktail cruise boat, hold 49 passengers. And we're looking to go out and provide private parties and public offerings, but things like baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties, small group format, and we will also we'll be running out of the Bayshore Marina right down the canal here, and we'll also be doing some public events off of that, where sunset cruise type of thing, 2-hour, get some refreshments on the boat along with some hors d'oeuvres and the like, and go out and enjoy the bay for a couple of hours, and then bring people back in and have some fun with it. Well, it's interesting. My mother was a candy striper at Good Samaritan when it first opened in '54, I think. But she worked over there as a volunteer, and it was. We're fortunate enough here, at least in Bayshore, to have 2 good hospitals within very close proximity. And Good Sam, my 2 grandkids were born at Good Sam, so I'm very supportive of that, and I'm very happy that we were able to do that. And both my parents have been in there, and everything has gone great. So You know, hospitals and medical services are something that we definitely need, and we're fortunate enough to have, you know, Good Sam right here, and it's the first hospital people go to when they're coming off Fire Island in case of emergency. It's right over the bridge, and they can get there and take care of the residents and customers that are over there. So it's great. I just love it. It's a place that you know, I feel comfortable in, and supporting your organization and the hospital is something that we look forward to doing.
Welcome back to Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Sam. We hope you enjoyed our show so far, and we have a musical treat for you. Coming up next, we'd like to introduce you to Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band.
Oh, darling, please believe me. I will never ever do you no harm. Believe me when I tell you, I will never do you no harm. Oh, darling, if you leave me, baby, I will never ever make it alone. No, no, no. Believe me when I tell you, I will never make it alone. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly fell right down and cried. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly fell right down and died. Oh, darling, oh, if you leave me, baby, I will never, ever, ever make it alone. No, 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 no. Believe me when I tell you, darling, I will never make it alone. Come on, Jimmy. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly fell right down and died. When you told me you didn't need me anymore, well, you know, I nearly fell right down and died. Oh, darling, oh, if you leave me, baby, oh, I will never, ever make it alone. Believe me when I tell you. Believe me when I tell you. Believe me when I tell you, I'll do you no harm. Annabelle.
Yes, Sweet
Your
Susie.
thing.
Do my thing. they could never love me when they can't even love themselves. And I need someone to love me, someone who really understands, yeah, who won't put himself above me and just love me, like a man. I never seen such losers, darling, even though I tried to find a man who will take me home instead of taking me for a ride. And I need someone to love me, someone who really understands, yeah, who won't put himself above me and just love me like a man. They'll want me to rock them like my back ain't got no bone. I want a man to rock me like my backbone was his own, yeah. And darling, I know you can. Believe me when I tell you, you can love me, oh, love me like a man, like a man, like a man. I come home sad and lonely. I feel like I wanna cry. I want a man to hold me, not some fool to ask me why. Yeah, and darling, I know you can. Believe me when I tell you, you can love me, oh, like a man. Oh yeah, you can.
Hey, let's give it up for Sweet Susie Annabelle and the Jim Moran Band. Awesome job, guys. And the best news is they're not done yet. We have more music coming up after the break. You're watching Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Sam. We'll be right back.
This benefit is possible thanks to our wonderful sponsors. We'll be back with more Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band.
Hello, I'm Dr. Patrick O'Shaughnessy, President and CEO of Catholic Health. I wanted to take a minute during this special program to thank the healthcare heroes at Good Samaritan Hospital for their incredible efforts to care for our patients and the community throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. I would also like to thank the community, especially the Stronger Together honorees and everyone watching at home, for the generous support and encouragement that you provided to the staff at Good Samaritan Hospital when they needed it the most. Stronger Together truly reflects the power of community and partnership and celebrates our resiliency and humanity. COVID-19 resulted in sweeping and rapid changes to life as we knew it, especially in healthcare. To get through these unprecedented challenges, the staff and leadership at Good Samaritan needed to innovate and collaborate like never before. The past year has shown us that when we work together, there is nothing that we cannot overcome. Thank you again for your support. It is an honor to serve the community and to be your partners in health when you need us most.
Here we are in the Charles E. DeClercq Department of Imaging Services at Good Samaritan. Today, so many procedures are minimally invasive and require highly advanced technology in imaging. Some of these programs include Stroke and Brain Aneurysm Center and Neurointerventional Program, and the TAVR Clinic, which offers minimally invasive catheter-based technique for replacing a diseased aortic valve. Despite the pandemic, Good Samaritan advanced a number of important projects in 2020 to better serve you and your loved ones. One of these projects was the construction of a new interventional radiology lab, and I am so pleased to introduce you to Dr. Brian Weber, Chair of Radiology at Good Sam. Dr. Weber, can you share a little bit about the new lab and the types of procedures that are performed here?
Sure. First off, I just wanted to thank you for coming to our department today. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's been a difficult year for everyone, and we were very excited to have this construction completed last year. This is a state-of-the-art room equipped with the highest technology, as you can see, and it allows our board-certified, fellowship-trained interventional radiologists, along with our support staff, which includes the nurses, the technologists, PAs, and nurse practitioners, to deliver high-quality care to patients in our community. Some of the features that we have here, which we're very excited about, is dose reduction. This is very important, not only for the users of the equipment, but also for the patients. It's a safety issue, so we're very happy with that significant dose reductions. There's also software, mapping software, which helps our physicians guide them in the types of procedures that they're going to do, taking two-dimensional images and allowing for 3D manipulation. So this is very exciting to us. Some of the more common procedures that we do here are acute patients who come in with acute bleeds and hemorrhages, and we actually embolize those hemorrhages. We do this in conjunction with our trauma service team, our level 2 trauma service, which is exceptional, and patients who have intra-abdominal injuries or solid organ injuries with bleeds. So we actually go in and can actually localize the source of the bleed and embolize right at the source. We do this also with GI bleeds, upper and lower GI bleeds. Again, they use microcatheters and can actually see the small vessels and actually embolize them. Another exciting field within interventional radiology is interventional oncology, and we're very pleased to offer this to our community in conjunction with the Cancer Center, where we can actually target the tumor by the blood vessels, and we can actually deliver chemotherapeutic and embolic agents directly to the tumor, sparing the healthy cells. So having a state-of-the-art equipment such as this not only helps us today, but it's going to help us in the future, because we'll be able to adapt and keep pace with the ever-changing specialty of interventional radiology and be able to offer new procedures to our patients in the community. So it's not just for today, it's for the future as well.
Dr. Weber, thank you for updating us and to bring including the next level of patient care service here at Good Samaritan.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Dr. Uzma Syed, Chair of the COVID-19 Task Force at Good Samaritan Hospital Medical Center, partner at South Shore Infectious Diseases. I'm a fellow of the Infectious Diseases Society of America and a member of their Inclusion, Diversity, Access, and Equity Task Force. So, it was really alarming for me when we first started hearing accounts. I mean, being in infectious diseases, I was very much attuned to what was happening abroad. And in December, I started following very closely what was happening in China. And I started ringing the alarm here to really prepare us, because I knew that this was not a fluke and this was not something small. And we quickly, formed the task force and started doing our planning. And it was just a matter of time until the cases were about to arrive on our doorstep. And when that finally happened, it was like something we had never experienced in our lives. I like to describe it as a tsunami, essentially, because the amount of people that came at the same time, one after the other, sick, gasping for air, coughing, the echoes of the coughs through, the ER, the emergency rooms, and the overwhelming amount of, disease that we were seeing was like something we had never experienced in our lives. And people were just coming in one after the other, sicker than the one before. And it was really this overwhelming feeling of helplessness. And we were, just shocked to see even the youngest of people coming in. All along the story was that it was going to be the really old with, elderly with underlying medical conditions, and yet the very first patient I had was a 20-year-old who had no underlying medical conditions. So we knew immediately that this was even bigger than what we had anticipated. So this was actually a very novel task force for this institution. As I mentioned before, I was very much in tune to what was happening internationally, and I thought it was really imperative for us to be as prepared as possible given the severity of the situation. And it was really important that we had people from all different departments involved in this, because I knew that this was going to be something larger than what we had ever experienced. And so it really was a multidisciplinary approach. And we had, people from, infection prevention to, all aspects of administration to really have planning in place. How were we going to be prepared for what was about to arrive? The surge planning that needed to be done, the capacity, how could we provide the best care for our patients and keep everybody safe and healthy, including employees and including patients from the community who are coming in for reasons other than COVID-19. So it's really interesting. We have shifted a lot of our focus and a lot of our practices with COVID-19. Obviously, we see patients coming in with a different type of illness and they are sick for much longer. Usually we're used to treating patients, getting them, healing them and getting them back to their health and getting them discharged home or to an alternate facility. But they recover much quicker. With COVID-19, patients are sicker for a lot longer, and we see that the healing process is much longer, and it really is a multi-system disease. So, we are taking that multidisciplinary approach where we're providing that multi-system care to our patients both in the hospital and outside of the hospital. So we have seen how we are able to still provide good care for our patients but transition them out of the hospital. So some of these things are really innovative, and I think this is the future of healthcare. Absolutely. So the thing with COVID-19 is that from the beginning there was a lot of misinformation that was being circulated. So it was really important that as an infectious disease specialist and an expert in the topic and the chair of the task force that I was vocal and active about providing accurate information to the community. So we used a lot of our channels. I was very active on media to get the accurate information out there to community members so that they would seek help and health care when it was necessary. So one of the strong suits for Good Samaritan during this pandemic was that I'm extremely proud of is being able to bring cutting edge research to our facility. So we were involved in not one, not two, but 3 COVID-19 therapeutic clinical trials. One of them was with Regeneron, a monoclonal antibody that has emergency use authorization for treatment for patients with COVID-19. So the inpatient trial is what I was very heavily involved in, and the outpatient treatment that I was also involved in is what we were able to offer patients in the community who are diagnosed with COVID-19, and we can offer it to them as a treatment to prevent the disease from progressing, to keep them essentially out of the hospital, and so that we could hope that they would recover from their illness. And really, this was remarkable. Good Sam really stepped up, and we were able to provide these treatments for our patients in the emergency room, There are many lessons learned, and there are many silver linings in this. I do often think of things as, glass half full as opposed to half empty. I think we have really learned how to prepare for pandemics, and we know that this is not going to be the last pandemic. We certainly hope that it may not be, this may be the one for our lifetime, but it's really likely that we may have future pandemics. So even if something is not as large scale, at least we know how to better prepare. So we take these tools with us for the future. We're a little bit more astute and a little bit more aware of our surroundings. We have made so much progress with scientific breakthroughs on the vaccine fronts. It's remarkable what we have achieved in a short amount of time, and this is really going to be the future of medicine. The mRNA vaccinations that we have approved, that have been scientifically proven to be safe and effective, are really going to change the face of medicine. There are many, many infectious diseases out there that I hope soon will be eradicated with this type of advancement in science. We were really moved by the community. I mean, what we were experiencing on the front lines was like nothing we had experienced before. And it was really overwhelming, physically, emotionally, mentally. Healthcare workers were just struggling to just continue going on because of the amount of burden of disease that we were seeing. And as I mentioned, we are not used to not being able to heal people and get them home quickly. So the support that the community provided was really so moving for us. It really gave us that strength to carry on from, the applause and the music that they would do even at the front of the hospital, where they would provide, free music for inspiration and motivation, to the donations of PPE, the donations of food. I mean, it really is about community, and, this whole experience has really shown us how well we can all work together.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the virtual benefit. These guys were so great the first time. We're going to bring them back again. It is Sweet Susie Annabelle and the Jim Moran Band.
Yeah, baby.
Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. For 5 long years, I thought that you were my man. But I found out I'm just a link in your chain. Oh, you got me where you want me. Oh, I ain't nothing but a fool. Oh, you treated me. Chain of fools. Oh, every chain has got a weak link. I might be weak, child. Oh, babe, I need your strength. I tried to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. Oh, my doctor said to take it easy. Oh, my love is just so much too strong. I'm heading to your chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools.
chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. One of these mornings, that chain is gonna break. And until then, yeah, I'm gonna take all I can take. Girl. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Yeah. Sugar. Woo.
Yes, that's Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band. You guys are awesome. Well done. We love it. We're jamming out for a good cause. It's Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Sam. We just want to take this opportunity to remind you that it's still time to donate. There's a number on your screen right now. Just text Good Sam to that number for your chance to donate. We'll be right back with more.
As the self-proclaimed trivia queen of Long Island, we have a little trivia for you. So let's start with this. In what year was Good Samaritan Hospital built? Was it 1947, 1962, 1959, or 1948? We're going to have the answer for you when we come back.
A special thanks to our sponsors.
Good Samaritan is the only certified Level 2 pediatric trauma center on the South Shore of Long Island. The hospital is also home to the region's only pediatric intensive care unit. Another important project that we were able to complete in 2020 was our dedicated pediatric emergency department. The special new space opened in July and features a separate child-friendly waiting area with engaging activities, 24/7 care provided by board-certified pediatric emergency specialists and pediatricians, certified child life specialists on-site to assist and comfort children and families, and private treatment rooms. Dr. Kathy Coronia is the chair of pediatrics and graduate medical education at Good Samaritan, and Dr. Rithma Daniel is the chair of the pediatric emergency medicine. How proud are you of the new pediatric emergency department? And how have our patients responded to having this special dedicated space?
Oh, I will definitely talk about that. The family is very happy and the patients are enjoying the new space. It's very child-friendly and family-friendly space. It's very quiet. Everybody compliments about how quiet this place is, how nicely done it is, the color coordination and everything. And we are enjoying every day of it. And thank you so much for having this new facility for us. Even though we had a pediatric ED for about 23 years, this is a new facility away from the adult patients and very, very separate and private.
Very important strategic initiative for us.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the doorway to our pediatric unit, right? Or just to get care here by our board-certified physicians, all of whom really have dedicated their entire professional careers here. And as Dr. Daniel said, we had a private, separate pediatric ED, but this is an amazing facility. It's truly separate, all private rooms. Our child life specialists work very hard to support the physicians and the families and children, whether it's for a procedure here in the ED or for an admission, just explaining to them what it is that is happening. And we really are continuing to build upon this. The ability to have a private, separate pediatric facility. And again, as I echo Dr. Daniel, thank you for all of our administrative support for pediatrics. It truly has been, it's a jewel within our community, and it is unlike anything else surrounding our area for pediatrics. It's really a special place.
Dr. Caroni and Dr. Daniel, maybe you could speak about our commitment to graduate medical education and training the doctors of the future.
Yes, so we have many graduate medical education programs here at Good Sam. They range from straight emergency medicine, family practice, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics. We have fellowships, and our newest fellowship under the direction of Dr. Daniel is our Pediatric Emergency Medicine Fellowship. And Rita, why don't you talk a little
Which is a special training for pediatricians or emergency medicine graduates to get special training for how to take care of the acutely ill and injured children, which is a 3-year program. And we are happy to say that we just got approval from the American College of ACTME to start the fellowship starting July of 2021. We gave positions to 2 fellows and they gladly accepted the positions because we are excited.
And there are not that many training programs that have achieved this. It's very difficult and very difficult to find positions, so we're thrilled. And thank you.
Thank you for your support on that too.
That's right. As you can see, we have a lot of support.
We have a lot of support, you know.
It is very important.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all for you both for your commitment not only to Good Samaritan, to our patient population, but to the community at large. It really is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, and thank you for your support, honest. We couldn't do it without the support of administration. Thank you.
Angie Carpenter, Town of Islip Supervisor. Oh gosh, you know, it was over a year ago. It was the week of the Bayshore St. Patty's Day Parade, and I remember being in the throes of discussions with the party, with the parade organizers. Is there going to be a parade? Should there be a parade? Because, you know, we were first becoming aware of the severity of what we were facing. And it seemed like a heart-wrenching decision to cancel the parade. And it was the Thursday before when it became obvious that COVID was here, and it was something very, very real. And little by little, it seemed like the world around us was shutting down. And we began daily briefings with the county, briefings with the state, getting up to the minute, you know, guidelines and orders, and you know, given the mandate that we had to have 50% of our workforce, even though we were considered essential workers, 50% had to be working from home. So, you know, shifting gears, how do we deliver services to the people with 50% of the workforce working from home? And certainly that pushes IT to a whole new level, and they rose to the challenge. And then getting information out to the public, and that's where Good Samaritan Hospital really was a good partner for us. In the very, very beginning, we put a panel discussion together. Dr. Chris Rayo, head of emergency medicine and infectious disease specialist from the hospital, engaged in a panel discussion. We did it in our emergency operations center, talking about what this could possibly mean, you know, what people should be aware of in a pandemic. And from there, we did a whole series of TV and radio interviews with Dr. Rayo, because again, everything was changing, everything was morphing. It was not a constant. There wasn't a playbook for how to deal with the pandemic. So it was basically, you know, learning as you went along, you know, and dealing with the issues, and really hoping and praying that you made the right decision, and making sure that we were speaking to the experts in medicine as far as what the protocols should be or not be. And Chris was wonderful. He really, really was. And it gave us an opportunity to make the public feel comfortable. And then, you know, things like the testing, you know, trying to get people tested in a timely manner. Then, as we went through the summer and things looked like they were getting better, then we had the surge in the fall. And I really felt so strongly that we needed to put that testing site back up in Brentwood. That testing site was so important. And I asked if the funding could be used to set up a site, and they said yes. And reaching out to Good Sam, within a matter of days, it was unbelievable that we were able to get that site up, and here we are, you know, fast approaching the summer of 2021. That testing site has been up since the middle of November, and literally thousands of people have been tested. And again, Good Sam, always the willing partner. And it was a true partnership. I mean, the town, there was a finite amount of money, and we wanted it to be directed towards the testing and the equipment and everything that they needed to do that. Oh my gosh, the fact that we as a town have come through this, you know, it was an enormous challenge, and the town workforce embraced it. There wasn't pushback. People pushed themselves to points that they probably never thought they could be, you know, functioning at. The employees in this town so care about what they do and so care about their commitment to the community, much as Good Sam. You know, there's a caring that you can feel the minute you walk in there. People want to do. They understand the mission and they're there to deliver it. Well, I'd just like to really thank everyone involved in Catholic Health and in particular Good Samaritan Hospital. And I won't start naming names, but you know who you are. And to those that are supporting this first ever virtual event for the hospital, I thank you because, again, nobody does it alone. You know, we really have to come together. And at a time when people are most vulnerable, when something happens to them, that they need to go to that hospital. We are so blessed in our town. We have two incredible healthcare institutions, and certainly Good Samaritan Hospital is one of them, and one of which we are so proud and so grateful for.
Welcome back, Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band.
So how'd you do on that trivia question? We hope you got it right, but the good news is if you got it wrong, Lily would definitely like to speak with you about appearing on a future On the Spot episode coming up soon on News 12. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're glad you're here with us, and we have a special treat for you. One last performance by the super talented Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band.
Used to spend my nights out in a barroom. Seemed the bottom of the bottle was my only friend. But you rescued me and kept me from reaching for that bottle, and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, and I stay strong on your love all the time. Something told me it was over when I saw you in that crowd walking away from me. something deep down in my soul said, don't cry. When I saw you and her walking away from me, don't you see, I'd rather go blind than I see you walking away from me. Don't you see, I love you so much, but most of all, I don't want to be alone. No. I was just sitting here thinking about you, about your love, oh, and your sweet, sweet, sweet embrace. When I held the glass to my lips, my baby, I saw the tears running down my face. Running down, you see, yeah. I'd rather go blind than I see you with another girl. Oh, down, you see, yeah. I love you so much, I do. But most of all, I don't wanna be alone. No, I don't you see? Yeah. Don't you see, baby? I'd rather go blind than to see you, than to see you, than to see you, than to see you, see you. So much, oh, I don't wanna lose you, I don't wanna lose you, I don't wanna lose you, oh yeah, down you see, yeah. I love you so much, baby, but most of all, Tennessee whiskey, yeah. I don't want to be. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. I'd rather go. Oh, I'd rather go blind. Thank you.
Oh, I could listen to them all night. Let's give it up one more time for Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band. Unfortunately, that was their last song, but some great news. We're going to meet some members of the band, talk to them, have them share their story about how they're helping Good Sam after the break.
A special thanks to our sponsors.
In 2019, the World Health Organization declared 2020 the International Year of the Nurse, and that was to honor the 200th anniversary of Florence Nightingale's birth. And boy, were they right. We're going to now hear from some of our heroes, the nurses at Good Sam Hospital.
Well, we had heard about it coming. I truly think a lot of us thought it was not going to be what it was.
It was quite frightening in the beginning. I knew that by walking in that room, I was accepting a risk.
It was like a tidal wave coming over Long Island. It happened so quick and so fast. And if you didn't see it happening, you can't even understand what we saw.
Karen Fee, I'm the nurse manager of the surgical ICU.
My name is Jennifer Douglas, and I'm the social work supervisor.
My name is Michelle Salamita. I am the professional practice coordinator here.
Diane Lippy, nurse manager of C Unit.
My name is Varsha Patel. I'm a supervisor of care coordination.
My name is Louis Teitelbaum, and I'm the chairman of the Department of Psychiatry.
Erin Schreiber, nurse manager of the emergency department.
Nancy Laradola, and I'm a supervisor of care coordination.
And I'm Lori Spina, the vice president of human resources.
I think when it came, we were very surprised at how fast it came when it did come.
Exactly, we saw a huge influx of patients, and outside of here, people were just thinking about COVID and how it would affect them, and we were seeing, you know, tons of patients coming in every day in respiratory distress.
Right, it was symptoms unknown to us. The public didn't know much about COVID. We didn't know much about how to treat them, what to do for these patients. And the influx of patients was just astronomical within a 24-hour period, I would say.
Yes, I left my unit on a Friday, and when I came back on Monday, it was all COVID patients.
Yes.
So we were like inundated with, what do we do now?
I think watching from all the different countries, as it started out really Italy, watching France, everything happening, and as it came here and everyone's different ways of dealing with it, and us just being prepared. You didn't know what you were dealing with, you didn't know what equipment you need, how to deal with these type of patients, what length of stay you were dealing with, and just all the trauma that these families and patients are going through because people are also distanced from each other.
Med-surg expanded very quickly. We ended up taking part of ASU over for Maine, which was an MD unit at the time. We took that unit over as well, and D unit. We ended up opening up extra hallways to care for these patients, and I know one of our med-surg units actually had to move to make space for another critical care. So we ended up with...
Right, the ICUs, we started with approximately 36 ICU beds and quickly went to almost 80. We took over all of 2 Main and all of 3 South. All became ICU rooms for the most critical patients.
It was truly a dramatic change. People were afraid to come to work, even folks who worked in offices. Yes, and I would also add that for the frontline staff, I was impressed upon the fact that they did, despite those fears, they did come in every day. And they put that aside and they stood up to that level of integrity that they had and the compassion that they had for their patients and for each other. And they really banded together.
When they stopped the ORs, they did disperse all of those staff members to our units so that we could create a buddy system because with the proning of COVID patients, it did take more than one person to be able to take care of the patients.
I think absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think the nurses all have an appreciation for each other now.
And all the divisions and everybody's specialty. When COVID hit, we were all just nurses trying to take care of our patients and get them through this difficult time, and at the same time getting each other through it.
The teamwork in general was just overwhelming across the board.
Nurses they were asked to do extra shifts. They were asked to do. We all were, and everybody did it.
That we just did it. We just.
We're all working.
We all worked together. There was no complaints. Everybody seemed very motivated. Though they were afraid, they were motivated and they wanted to get our patients through it. And I really.
Focusing together as a team, I think we really worked great as a team, and across as a system, across Catholic Health, all the hospitals together. Every day we're sharing resources. Who had what beds are opened, who had staff they could send to help each other. So really as a system, We've been working like that for the past year since COVID hit as a system together. If we're surging and we're running out of beds, what other hospital can help us? What other hospital can we take patients from to unload their burden? So we're all working together. I think when we left at work, when we leave at night, the community support was amazing. The flowers, the cards, just every time you leave the building or come in. I think when people were trying to give us supplies, that was amazing.
It brought the morale up in the units between the staff members, especially through such a critical time.
We implemented something called the pause, which is a moment of silence or a moment of prayer.
Compassionate pause, right, that CHS started was right before COVID. And yeah, we use it after every patient passes away.
After someone passes away. To see that much death in such a short amount of time, and there were days that we would lose almost a dozen patients a day, and that was very, very scary for them. We wanted to make sure that everyone always respected every life and paid tribute to every single life that we took care of.
I had one nurse. She did do one thing that a family member saw, which I thought was beautiful. We have whiteboards in the room, and she wrote on the whiteboard, "Please remember that I'm somebody's mother." And her son saw it, and he was just like, "Thank you so much for that." He goes, "That makes me feel better that someone was thinking about her." So after she passed, it was really beautiful.
Can I just say something? My mom was a nurse, and my aunt was a nurse, and my daughter's going to be a nurse. And I really appreciate everything you guys did, because I really thought I was going to die. So, bless all of you, please. And just remember me, okay? Because I'm going to remember you.
Sure, my name is Christopher Rayo. I'm Chair of Emergency Medicine at Good Sam and Chief of Emergency Medicine for Catholic Health.
I'm John McMurray, Chief Operating Officer here at Good Samaritan Hospital.
Hi, I'm Kathy DiBenedetto. I'm the Director of Infection Prevention at Good Samaritan Hospital.
So I think what made this pandemic and crisis so challenging was the fear of the unknown, because we really didn't know exactly what was happening all around us when this all started. And I can remember just sitting in my office and seeing the physicians and residents and PAs and nurses, you know, sort of coming in and out of the office saying, "Oh, there's another patient who just came in who's really sick," and you know, it seemed like it was happening more and more frequently. So it got a little bit scary, especially early on, but I think it was scary just because it was just it was a situation that we didn't know a lot about, and we didn't really know exactly what we were dealing with at the time.
Well, I took a different perspective on it just from the military training that I've had, and understanding that you know, we train and build hospitals for chemical, nuclear, biological events, and understanding as the patients were coming in, I was getting the read from Dr. Rayo on what was happening, and then, you know, I immediately saw that we needed to do something somewhat different than, you know, just receive patients, put them into the hospital. You know, there needed to be isolation, there needed to be some level of quarantine. It became very evident early that it was going to be an ICU fight, you know, as we were understanding the intubations that were needed. So we started looking at the capacities of the hospital, the capabilities that we could expand to. So we started looking at the surge and flex.
So the most important thing that we had to do was educate our staff and keep them informed It was a lot out on the news. They were anxious, they were scared, they were frightened, and we wanted to be sure that they were safe to take care of our patients. And the biggest question was PPE. Do we have the right PPE for them? So we had to make sure that we did. And then as the cases increased, you know, the question was, do we have enough PPE? And we didn't want people to overuse the PPE. We want to make sure it was used correctly. So the most important thing, I think, was keeping the staff informed.
I think the other big unknown was the time frame, and that none of us really could have predicted how long this was going to go out. So, you know, when it initially started, I don't think anyone would have said that we'd be still dealing with it this far into the future. So, I mean, I think from the emergency medicine perspective, it was really, really important to partner with the town of Islip and other towns locally and regionally, just to educate the patient population so that we weren't overwhelmed with people coming in who didn't really need to be evaluated in the hospital. We also needed to educate people that if they were sick for other reasons, that they should still come to the hospital, and that this was still a very safe, clean, efficient place. So I think that that's one of the learning points that I certainly took out of this.
Well, there was a lot of calls and wanted to know some more information about COVID and how it spread, but most important was about back to the basics, about hand hygiene. So one of the first places I went was John's Crazy Socks, and it was a great experience for me to go there and just educate on basic hand hygiene. And they were amazed to know that we should not be turning off the faucet with our bare, clean hands. So some of the things that come natural to me, they really would say, wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I think getting the word out to the EMS community as we were learning what we were seeing, the ED's lessons out to the EMS community, because they were the ones that were, finding it firsthand and trying to deal with it and how they had to operate. And so I think we were passing those words on to the EMS providers, but also it became very evident quickly, because of the amount of patients that were coming as fast as they were coming, that our personal protective equipment, our PPE, became at critical levels of maintaining that and having it where we needed it, because we were burning through. People now have new words like burn rates, that is used in the general public. To understand, the rate that we were going through, and then just trying to find it became the new struggle of how to get our suppliers to get it to us. We were watching New York City going through their situations, and so the supply chain started to really crumble.
I also think this was a great example of how being a system can actually have great benefits. So within emergency medicine, all of the ED directors and chairmen were in constant contact, having calls multiple times a week. Dr. Goldman, Dr. O'Shaughnessy were involved in those calls as well, and we shared best practices. We talked about the best ways to get patients through the emergency department in a safe way. We talked about the best way to intubate patients to keep everybody safe, and it was really a great example of how being a system can actually have a lot of benefits in sharing best practices, and in some cases sharing resources.
A great learning experience that's now become a part of our daily operations.
Another innovation here in the emergency department was we actually constructed an outdoor tent where we were able to see and evaluate hundreds of potential COVID patients, and it was very, very successful for us.
And as an old Army guy, never underestimate the value of a good tent. Yep, we've repurposed it into vaccination. Went from just evaluation and testing to now vaccination.
Well, I have to say, I'm sure everybody feels it's great to be recognized. We love what we do, and sometimes we don't realize if we're really making a difference, right? We just work, and you don't realize until you see the outpouring support that, wow, they realize that we are making a difference.
Well, I think it was, nothing short of wow. It was an incredible outpouring of support you know, whether it was a drive-by through the circle out front of the hospital, just beeping horns and saying, you know, we love you guys, you know, keep it up, and folks to be able to take a little bit of moment away from the bedside and have a, you know, take the mask off with some fresh air, and the multiple parades that went through, and the food was unbelievable. We're still trying to work some of that off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gave everybody that little extra boost.
Here at Good Samaritan Hospital, I think the team is stronger than it's ever been, and ready for its next challenge.
I'm so proud of working here at Good Sam, and the care that we gave to our patients, and the continued care and compassion is just, it's so heartwarming. It really is.
Welcome back, everyone, to Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Sam. We're joined now by members of Sweet Susie, Annabelle, and the Jim Moran Band. If you thought there was some energy on stage during their performance, things are getting a little crazy right now, ladies. Now you're all composed. Now that the cameras are on, they're like, yes, yes, Tim. What should we talk about today?
He called us ladies. Oh my God. He should go in low.
We're joined with, guys, introduce yourself. We have Susie Smith.
Yep. Well, nope. Sweet Susie.
Sweet Susie.
Yes.
Okay. We have Sweet Susie.
Annabelle.
And a special guest. Would you like to introduce your special guest?
My baby sister, Betty Bell.
Hi, I'm Betty Bell. I'm an ER nurse for Good Sam.
I was going to say, not just a special guest, but an integral part of the emergency care team at Good Samaritan Hospital. So thank you guys for joining us. We want to hear just a little bit about your story. Over the pandemic, Betty, I'm sure things were very crazy, but the connection to the hospital with you guys, the fundraising, what made you really want to get involved?
Well, my neighbor, she did mammograms, okay, until COVID hit. And then she worked, it was an affiliate of Good Sam. And when COVID hit, they needed her on the floor. And she went from x-raying boobs to x-raying COVID lungs. And I was really inspired by that. And she had said that they were so busy, some of the times they didn't get to eat. And I, you know, being food Italian, very important in my life, I said, you know, I want to do something. I want to raise money and possibly feed some hospital floors, some COVID frontliners. So I started a Facebook thing, and I hooked up with Chrissy and Kelly, and we did music. You know, I used that as a platform to get the word out. So we did some fundraisers and concerts and to entertain the COVID floor, and I brought Annabelle in because she absolutely rocks. So
and they sang at Good Sam.
I remember that. When you first started out, it started out so simple. You're just trying to help a neighbor out.
Yes, yes.
What did it turn into, and did you ever expect it to be that large in terms of the fundraising effort?
No. Well, as a musician, I do have quite a bit of a following on social media because we're so good.
Hashtag Sweet Susie.
Yeah, exactly. SUZI. So really, I used that as a platform to get the word out, and people were scared. They didn't know what to do. We didn't know what we could do for them. We couldn't really play anywhere. Everything shut down. So I did whatever, you know, anyone would really do, and just use social media to, you know, get some attention and get some money to you know, put to research and see if we can combat that thing.
Being that my sister worked at the hospital, she would come home and she would be so fatigued, and the stories, and I would start crying, but some of the stories were so horrible, and she would take her uniform off outside, her scrubs off outside, and it was February. It was January. It was freezing. She would not come in the house with clothes on. The neighbor had a drone flying over the house. But and she left the shoes outside too because she didn't want to bring anything in. We have a mom who's on oxygen. She has COPD, CHF, so she's compromised. So she didn't want to get mom sick. She didn't want to get me sick.
Healthy the whole time. She never got COVID.
Never got.
My goodness,
never got
that's
COVID.
incredible.
We got COVID, but she didn't.
I gave her COVID.
Yeah.
Your sister's very close.
Yeah. So, but you know, when Susie told me what she was doing, and then when she asked me, I reached out to some people on social media as well. I'm like, come on. We had people sitting in their cars in the parking lot. They're like, oh, Annabelle and Sweet Susie are performing. We got to go. Because there's really no place open. You know, like all the small venues have closed down. The bars are closed. Live music was not happening. So, and you know, like I said, I was making banana bread and cookies. She was just, bring it back to the hospital. Bring it back
40 pounds. I gained 40 pounds.
And you know, just like I said, with my sister, just listening to the stories and all that pain, you know, there's something you need to reach out to people And this was like really all we could do to help.
During the performances, is that something that was going through your mind? You know, obviously everyone's talking about the pandemic, but you're both directly connected to someone who's on the front line. Is that something you were thinking about when you were singing and playing to the workers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We sang as some of the patients came out, and as they survived, they came out, and we'd sing to them as they were leaving. It was like such a wonderful feeling. Unfortunately, at that point, it wasn't so often that people were leaving the hospital, and that was sad.
And also the workers coming in at night, you know, to start their shift. And they loved hearing it. So they were coming in or they were leaving from the hospital, and it brought them a bit of joy, because music brings joy to everybody. You know, everybody wants to hear music.
It's
They
healing.
love it. It's healing, and it makes people happy. So, you know, that was good for them. And we had bags, giveaways. It was wonderful. It really was wonderful.
Betty, could you just talk a little bit about, you know, what it meant from the front lines? Obviously, you guys are inundated every single day, but there's so many people in the community doing so much. What did that mean to you and your team members?
It was amazing to me. I mean, like the support from the community itself. I mean, the pandemic itself was so rough. Good Sam came together like as one, like not different units. The hospital worked as one against something we knew nothing about. So it's like these little things, like, you know, like even when you watch the news in New York City, they would ring the bells for the healthcare workers, or the music. It really helped us fight every day, go in every day, knowing that we're fighting something we knew nothing about. Like we still don't. We're still working through it. It's getting better by day. It's uplifting. We used to play music too when people would actually get, you know, discharged from the hospital. Here Comes the Sun. When they got taken off the vents, we'd play music. The whole hospital would hear it. That was enlightening too. Walking into work, seeing these two singing, I literally ran up to her, I hugged her. I ran into the air. I'm like, they're playing outside. You guys got to get outside. It was something. It was a little ray of like sunshine during such a dark time, you know, and it helped us pull through. Really, you know, now when we look back on it and we're learning and we're growing, it almost seems euphoric. The height, it almost seems euphoric, but it really, I mean, we came together so well. Good Sam strong, you know, always and forever. So
that's awesome.
I actually was a traveler during the pandemic. I was a traveler, so I went from hospital to hospital and decided how we were during the pandemic was ultimately what made me come on as staff at Good Sam. So,
well, thank you
nurses,
for everything you've done. Thank you for
you.
everything you continue to do.
Thank you.
Sweet Susie, Annabelle, thank you for the golden tones. You guys have a set of pipes
welcome.
out there. You nailed it.
Our mamas made us this way.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. Stronger Together. That's what we're here for, helping out the community. We'll be right back with more.
Coming up next, the COVID fighters. A special thank you to our following sponsors.
My name is Vaji, and we've owned the deli for 37 years, so we've been part of this community for that long.
My name is Ruth, and I've been here at the deli for 13 years. I'm the manager. We love it.
And I'm Michael. I've been here all my life because that's my mom, and I was born into this place. So.
Well, I mean, we've lived in the area for a very long time. We moved to West Islip for about 5-6 years, and after that we moved to West Bay Shore, found a house over there. But we've been part of this community for 37 years. My kids have gone to St. John's High School. They were both born at Good Samaritan Hospital, which I love. And I don't know, I mean, this has been our home for 37 years. So we pretty much know many of the customers, the hospital staff. So it's just been part of our lives for so long.
It was a tough time, obviously, but our goal was to stay open so we could be here for the community as much as we possibly could. And we saw how much the hospital staff, everyone in the hospital is doing for the community. So we're trying to give back as much as we possibly could for that specific reason. And you know, we know a lot of places closed down, and we were just doing our best to stay open, even if it was for 10 hours a day, 12 hours, whatever it was. We just tried to be there for everybody who was also going through a lot. So.
Well, in the beginning, I mean, when it first hit, it was like, We started hearing how the staff wasn't allowed to get out, leave the hospital, and they were working overtime. So, and we just had so much abundance of food, and we started just sending like coffee and bagels to the emergency room at first, and then we started expanding it to different floors, and then the outreach program from your hospital started calling us and asking if we can donate, you know, to the hospital, and to, you know, we would be compensated a little, I guess, but we tried to do as much as we can for them. We started out with just coffee and bagels, and then it just went on from there. And then people started calling in for donations. Please help us, you know, give back to the hospital, and we tried to do as much as we can. And that's really how it started. Nobody realized how long it was gonna be, and for how, you know, it was such a terrifying, sad time for everybody. And we just wanted to do as much as we can. I mean, the hospital and its staff and the community supported us for so long. We just want to give back.
It was incredible to see like people come together in such a terrible time, and you know, it made everyone happier, and we hope it made people in the hospital put a smile on their face while they were going through so much themselves. So.
Yeah, some of the customers themselves, they used to come in and, you know, leave some money, be like, do this for the, bring it to the hospital, do wraps, sandwich. So we were all day working, making the wraps, the sandwich, and deliver to different departments. It was a scary situation, but it was nice to do it for the people too.
Well, you definitely saw the community coming together, and that was amazing.
Not just West Islip, but like
yeah, I mean,
every single town around us. I mean, people were just calling. I want to donate this, just from random people from different towns.
I mean, it was on a daily basis, honestly. I mean, people were so grateful, the staff was so grateful just to have something, you know, because they couldn't leave. And I believe like the cafeteria might not have been open, but anything, and they were so appreciative. I got phone calls, letters thanking us for, you know, for the donations. Doctors would call and say thank you so much, nurses. It was just a really wonderful time as far as like the community, to feel like, oh, we're doing something, you know, for them as much as they're doing for us. And so on a daily basis, it was a thank you. To be
I mean, we were delivering every day. Then, like she said, the nurses, people coming down, they were just so grateful. I mean, every time I would see them, they'd have a smile on their face, like, wow, like, thank you so much for all this food. And they're out there saving lives and doing all of that. And it was heartwarming to see just how grateful they were. And we are so grateful for you guys and to the people working in the hospitals as well. So.
Truly, really.
My name is Jim Killen. I'm the president here at AOH St. Patrick's Division II in Babylon Village. The Ancient Order of Hibernians is a national Irish Catholic men's fraternal organization that also has ladies division, junior boys and junior girls. We happen to be here 75 years this coming October, but we were founded in New York City in 1836. And the AOH has divisions all over the United States, in all 50 states in fact. Since we started our division in October 6, 1946, part of our motto is friendship, unity, and Christian charity. So the Christian charity part is we're very much involved with that, where we always give back to the community in any way they need help. A lot of times it's with food drives, blood drives, and things of that nature, or even when Hurricane Sandy hit, we were very involved with the community to help them get people back on their feet as well. So that's extremely important, not only with our Irish heritage and culture and our friendship and unity part, but that sort of transforms, because when you have Christian charity and you're uniting people in the community, it's really all comes into one, and you do it in a friendly way, so you have the friendship, unity, and Christian charity. But we've been doing that since we started in 1946, and we continue today. It's a very strong part of what we do here. Well, it hit us hard because the month of March is very active here, because we have our in-house Saffron United Pipe Band, we have our Irish step dancers, and we have every year our St. Patrick's Ball, where we name an honoree that we call him the Hibernian of the Year. And we had an emergency meeting on Thursday night, March 12th. I remember like it was yesterday, because we had to decide that we had to pull the St. Patrick's Ball, which was going to be Saturday night, March 14th. And that just pulled the rug from under us. Unfortunately, we had to cancel everything, but then we said, well, how can we give back? And unfortunately, the gentleman who I named the Hibernian of the Year, his name is Tom Collins, he was at that meeting on March 12th, and I said to him, Tom, we're going to have to postpone this because we don't know where we're going. And he says, oh, absolutely. And unfortunately, it turned out Tom contracted COVID, and he died a few weeks after that. So it really hit us really hard that here, a man who we were going to honor at the St. Patrick's Ball passed away a few weeks after we announced that we had to postpone it. So that really rallied everybody. And when we saw how the healthcare workers were working so hard, we said, what can we do for them to just give a little bit back? So we got together and we made what I call the Irish comfort food, and we made trays and trays of shepherd's pie. And we said, initially, let's just go to the hospital and make sure that they're all fed properly. So we went over there, and I understand we fed over 250 people at 5 different units. And then it was just really wonderful to give back that way. But I do understand, because I tried more, but everybody was giving, which was great. It wasn't just us. And we were almost on a list like, well, you already gave, so now you got to go back to the bottom of the list to give again. But in the meantime, at the shift change at 7 o'clock, our Saffron United Pipe Band went over twice to play at the shift change when people were coming in and people were going, and we were out in front of that hospital playing, and everybody seemed to really enjoy that quite a bit. We continued with other food drives for the local parishes, the town of Babylon, a food pantry, because everybody needed things. So we said, well, how can we give back? And that's what we kept on doing. 2 things. When we dropped off the food, the workers went so much out of their way to say thank you, and that was right at the front door. And you could just see that how much appreciation they had and gratitude towards us. And for us, it was just like, no, we want to do more, but just the way they took the food. And then when the band played, there were workers around, and you could see that they had tears in their eyes, and they really appreciated that the band came out, was playing tunes, give them some enjoyment through entertainment, and how much they appreciated what we did for them. So that it was very warming of the heart that all those months later, it still stuck with them, that we were able to provide some respite for them and give them some entertainment and say, hey, you know what? It's okay for just a short time that you can sit back, enjoy your food, listen to some music, and hopefully made your day go better and took it away from the great work that they were doing every day and the important work. Yeah, I would like to say that we have similar interests with the hospital because you're the Catholic health system, so we have a common bond. Being that we're a Catholic organization and Good Samaritan Hospital is also a Catholic organization, we have a common bond. And we want to make sure that we can help any way that you need us to. And we hope that we hear from you and that we can help out, and as they say, maybe we can always help out each other. But we don't know what we can do, but we'd like to do more if we can.
We're now here with Father Charles and Lori, and you're both grew up in the West Islip community, correct?
Well, no, we actually grew up in Dix Hills.
Oh,
not
okay.
too far away.
Oh, me too.
Really?
Colmac, Dix Hills, yeah.
Okay.
All right, but I know that you have a lot to do with the community here.
Yes,
and you started a great music ministry. Tell us about that.
Father?
Well, I was ordained 30 years ago. Wow, that's old.
Oh, you look too young. You look
so
too young.
30 years ago I was ordained, and it was my parishioners that encouraged me to start recording the meditation songs that I was singing after communion. And then I moved it after my homily. They were clapping after communion. I'm like, this is not a performance. This is a prayer.
Right.
And so I moved it to after my homily, and so with their financial support, I started recording an album. And then I enlisted my sister Lori, because she's the real singer. And I said, Lori, why don't you do some backup for me? And then it just took off from there. And then through the years, we just kept doing more albums and more albums. We're up like 13 albums now,
That's
CDs.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's called?
Oh, well, our music ministry is called Mater Dei.
Yeah.
Right.
It's incorporated. It's a 5013 3C Corporation for not-for-profits.
And let's talk about that. You guys
Yep.
have done so much for the community and for different
Thank you.
charities. So let's talk about your relationship with Good Sam and what you did throughout the pandemic.
Well, I've been a patient a number of times. Actually, everyone in my family has been a patient.
Yes.
And during the pandemic, they had that wonderful parade, and I heard about it. And so my husband and I went, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people there in their cars, and all the frontline workers were outside, the nurses, the doctors, and you could see they were so moved. I was so moved. I think everybody was. Yes. And I told my brother about it. I said, this was so wonderful. Maybe we should be doing something for Good Sam. I mean, almost everyone in my family has been a patient there.
For some reason.
We should be helping them. And so we did.
I love that.
In fact, we want to today again. In fact, we brought a check with us. Because we would like to do some more.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, we wanted to do a little bit more.
On behalf of Good Sam, thank you so much, and for everything that you've done.
You're welcome.
And you continue to do it. And I think that you are really an inspiration, and you make this beautiful music. And
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say to maybe the healthcare heroes and the people who've really put themselves out there?
Well, I, for one, I know that I had a partial hysterectomy, and I remember right after that, I think it was because of the anesthesia, I was so emotional. And a volunteer from the hospital was walking past my room, and she saw me in tears. And I can't even tell you the compassion. And then she sent nurses in, and everybody was so warm. My mother has been a patient there a number of times with breast cancer, and they couldn't have been kinder.
Yes.
The loving care, in addition to the skill, the expertise. But they've taken wonderful care of everyone, and I'm grateful for that. The nurses and doctors, I'll tell you, to be a nurse, you have to be one special person.
Yes.
Doing what we do is easy. What they do is very difficult.
Yes.
I mean, I myself have had a number of surgeries, and I have to tell you, and I've said this to the nurses. I said, girls, your hands are like you're angels. You're really angels. And they go, I don't know about that, Father. I say, trust me, you're an angel.
If I say you are, you are.
Because the nurses deal with people at such a vulnerable time in their life. You don't have control over what's happening, and the comfort and the consolation that they give to the patients is just, I know I was always very grateful for all the nurses.
And they don't seem to grow insensitive. I mean, they work with
which
sick
could
people
happen
every day.
Absolutely, they do.
But,
not.
Or maybe that happens privately. But I've always had a very positive experience, and I'm very, very grateful. And that's why we really wanted to do more,
Well, that is amazing that you did that. And I think it just shows, everybody coming together, not only the nurses helping people like you, but you now helping them.
You have to give back.
That's community, and that's beautiful.
And the primary role of our music ministry, or goal of our music ministry, is really to evangelize hearts, to bring people in a deeper relationship with God. But the byproduct is with the selling of albums, we're able to do things for charity.
It's beautiful, and you are doing it, and you are doing
We're
it
trying.
for so many on Long Island. So thank you so much, and thank you for all you do. We'll be right back.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
We're here with Kathy Giamo. She is a member of the Good Samaritan Hospital Foundation Board and also the chair of the Special Events Committee. And we are at a really special event here. Tell us, you guys were so important in putting this together. Tell us what went into it and why you did this.
Well, why is because we wanted to show our gratitude. The board, the Good Samaritan Foundation Board's purpose is to be a liaison between the community and the hospital. And this last year, the hospital has been under such tremendous stress and pressure. And we recognize that the first line workers, All the medical staff did such a job in protecting all of us. We were all sequestered in our houses, but they were out on the front line doing the hard work. Our community was incredible, stepped up, brought gifts and food and moral support. And so the whole focus of this event is to thank the community, thank the supporters, and show that we're here for them and that we know they're there for us.
Absolutely. What are some of the things you did see in the community coming together during this pandemic?
Well, the community immediately came to the hospital. They did drive-bys just to support the workers. They delivered food. They sent flowers. They made phone calls. Anything they possibly could think of that they could volunteer to do within the confines of the virus, they did. And the emergency workers themselves, barely got a break, and yet just to look out the window and see the people there waving flags and saying hello and sending support. And the amount of financial support was tremendous. From kids with dollar bills to people with checks. Anything they could do to show that the hospital was important, and they appreciated it.
And I know you've been involved with a lot of boards over your career, but this has been extremely special. I mean, I'm sure
Yes.
you've never in your life, none of us could have imagined something like this happening.
Yes.
So what did that mean to you?
Well, being part of this board it's an experience that's unlike others that I've been involved with, because I see the people. There is such a commitment of the people. There's such a camaraderie between the people, and it's family. There are a lot of different organizations that do various things, but this organization is one that touches on the heart of people. It's their health, it's their life, it's their future. And everyone here finds a way to make it work.
And it's been absolutely amazing. And I know there's also an online auction, because while the moral support is enormous, there's also financial support that goes towards the hospital and everything that they're doing. So there is an online auction.
There is an online auction. I encourage everyone to visit the auction site. It will be up on the board,
and you
so
can
will
look
get it.
And the phone number is on the bottom of your screen, so you can call in there. You can go on the website. The information will be there for you, and everyone really appreciates all the support. And Kathy, we appreciate you. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'd just like to mention the sponsors. We have some special sponsors, which is the medical staff and the Progressive Physicians Group, NEW Howell. They have been terrific. And everyone else. So help us out.
Kathy, thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Give it up for our sponsors.
My name is Joe Kennedy. I'm one of the owners here at Lily Flanagan's Restaurant Group.
I'm Damien Farrell, also one of the owners at Lily Flanagan's, Babylon.
I'm retired from the New York City Fire Department in 2008. A few years after I started working here, and then I became an owner probably about 8 years ago. Lily Flanagan's, I've known these guys from playing soccer with and against my partners for years. We used to have a lot of battles on the soccer field and always go back to the pub afterwards.
Yeah, I think I've been here at Lily Flanagan's for, I think it's 17 years now. One of the original owners. When we started this voyage here, we had food and beverage and serving the community. It was always our goal. A couple of things that really spring to mind would be Sandy. When Sandy hit here in Babylon, we were the only location that was actually open with the power. Everything else was shut down. So the whole community would come here for lunch and dinner. We had people using every single outlet for their phones, and we gained a lot of support from the community with that. They were so thankful that we were able to support. You didn't have to spend money. They just wanted somewhere to plug their phone in and say hello, and if they wanted to have hot food or lunch, they came here. And that's the sort of trend that's always been going with Lily's. And obviously when COVID hit, It was a big shock to everybody, and especially for an Irish pub, because we just got 1,600 pounds of corned beef in for St. Patrick's Day, and then we were shut down. So it wasn't too long after that we were like, what are we going to do? And so we said, we have all this food, we're not going to throw this out. We're just going to give it to them. And we made the right connections, and every day the chefs and myself, Joe, and a couple of the owners, we came in and prepared meals for the hospital for, I think it was actually 6 weeks in a row. When people are in need, we got to step up, and that's what we did.
We really thought this would only last for maybe a couple of months, and now here we are, this much time later, and it's still, we're not back to normal. You could tell the appreciation from the hospital staff, and we got thanks, from, it's a small, as big as the world is, it's small, and everyone knows each other and reaching out to me and the guys just thanking us. And we're talking from the guy who flips the switch for the air conditioning unit to, the porters to everyone, the food service guys, to everyone in the hospital. We have a newfound appreciation because they were going into what was a very unsafe place, and they didn't ask, they didn't say no, they went in and did their job.
You could see that things were bad, and you just felt it. Like just there was an atmosphere like, oh, there's more people in the thing. It was just a bad feeling, but we kept striving on, and it got better and better. And I think by the 5th week, I'm not sure when it was, but there was a sign outside on the front door where the sliding doors, and it said, "We love Lily's food." And what more could you say? Like that just was
it was like posted all over the place. Like, we love Lily Flanagan's food. Me personally, I know there's still, it's not as bad as it was at the peak, but I know there's still people suffering, and hospital workers and doctors are still saving lives, and I want to say thank you to them for keeping in the fight and being, New York strong, as they say. Just a newfound respect. I always respected the hospital workers and stuff, but I have I hold them in higher regard now than ever before.
And I think just following up on that, the hospital can say thank you to Lily's for the food, but really we want to say thank you guys. You're the ones, not us.
All right, we're here today with the COVID fighters. We've been calling them a dual threat all evening because not only are they extremely talented musicians, but they are also extremely skilled healthcare workers and physicians affiliated with Catholic Health. Dr. Rogu, I believe you were the brains who brought this power group together, this very impressive band. Talk a little bit about the background and who we have with us here today.
Well, we started off with the Good Sam Jam, which was a yearly fundraiser generally for supporting the pediatric department. The idea of that was to bring the hospital people together and raise some money for the hospital, for the pediatric departments. And we had 5 bands. In each band, the gimmick was you had to have a physician in it. We did that twice already. And for the 3rd round, we decided, let's make a band of just doctors. We wanted to call it the Flu Fighters, and we did last year. We were practicing, we were ready, we were practicing, and then what happened? New York City closed. Good Sam Jam canceled. Our rehearsal canceled, and we were done. Fast forward a year later, I write an email to Kelly saying, it's very sad. Around this time of the year, we would be preparing for the Good Sam Jam, yet we're not. And she writes back, can you get those guys together? Let's just, we're doing this big fundraiser. It's going to be virtual, and let's get them together and rehearse and play. So we got together. It was great, right out of the box. But we figured we're going to change the name. No longer call it the Flu Fighters. We'll call it the COVID Fighters, because that's what we did for a year.
There you go.
So we have Dr. Dave Gold from Pediatric Gastroenterology. We got Dr. Paul Scarola from Anesthesiology. To my left, we got Dr. Matt Woolley, Adult Urology. Dr. Sean Lovechuck, Pediatric Cardiology. Dr. Ed Lozidis behind me to my left, Urology. Dr. Ryan Cahill, family medicine, and to my left we have Scott Stabe. He's like, I don't know, he's not a doctor, but he works in IT, so I guess.
What I'm told is he's an honorary doctor.
He's an honorary doctor.
Right.
Yeah. Computers, doctoring, it's all the same.
I know, it's so easy.
He can actually sing. Why we brought him in. None of the rest of us can.
Which is really helpful for tonight.
Yes.
That's what it's about. No, I've heard you guys play before, many of your bands at the Good Sam Jam. I think I've seen you so many times that I may be considered a groupie at this point. I have seen your bands play so much.
Right.
You are fantastic. We're looking forward to that performance. I guess, what is it about, you all practice medicine or are involved with healthcare, what is it about music that provides kind of that release and that break from the normal run of your days?
I think it's an excellent outlet because obviously all the jobs that we do, and especially the last year that we had, music was the one constant. You know, it was something that we could all turn to, it was something that also I think provided us a little bit of an escape from what was going on. And I think all of us able to play music together was fantastic. And it was nice to kind of all come together and see each other and do something that was outside of the hospital. So definitely really like this idea, and I'm really happy we're performing for everybody.
You guys all have very crazy, wild schedules, I'm sure. How do you guys find time to practice together?
When my wife goes to sleep, I turn the guitar on the amp on. Very low with headphones on usually.
Same thing. I mean, you make time for anything, and if you love it enough, you're going to make time to do it. And my family understands, just like everybody else's family here, and they support us, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, my family's my roadies, and they help me and help my back, and they support the music for everybody here.
Can you guys just talk just a little bit about what the last year has been like for you from a healthcare, from a medical standpoint? What are some of the things you saw? What are some of the things you dealt with?
Well, obviously, I think everybody here could say that not many people wanted to hang out with us initially when COVID came out. We were definitely public enemy number one. But we've all learned a lot as people, as physicians, and definitely maintaining the importance of music throughout because it is therapeutic. And regardless of the pandemic, you can always listen to music, you can play music, and I'm sure that's what pulled most people through it.
The reason why we're here tonight is the program, Stronger Together. And it's really about forging that bond between the community and our healthcare heroes, like yourselves. What did some of the support that you received from the community during the pandemic? It seemed, at Good Sam especially, there were just deliveries being dropped off every day. There were car parades. There were concerts, performances. What did that sort of community support mean to you guys?
The community support was incredible. Like you just mentioned, we had food deliveries every day. We had fire departments coming by and doing parades. Literally just people coming outside and clapping for us. There were signs all over the grounds of the hospital. To just know there was that much support, that much love from the community, it just gave me the little, and everyone really in the hospital, the little extra oomph to get through the day. Because the days in the hospital during that trying time, they were rough. They really were. And to have that support, it made it a little bit easier to get through the day. It really did.
Paul was a little more on the front line than some of us, and some of the emails he sent us really were pretty brutal. And I think really that community support really probably rallied you tremendously. Really did.
So is that something that helps as band members, as bandmates? You see one of your teammates essentially who's dealing with this. Were you all able to come together and kind of, just support one another too?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I remember last year when before New York City closed, we were still rehearsing, and I texted Paul. I said, Paul, you're in anesthesia. Is this stuff real, this COVID stuff? And the email that he sent us was amazing. Maybe you can tell us what you told us.
Being on the front lines, they had to close the operating rooms, as they did for almost all the hospitals in New York. And we had to expand our ICUs because a lot of people are on ventilators. We were also intubating all of the COVID patients. So there were days, basically all I did was run around the hospital all day and intubate patients. And that was very trying because, we knew, unfortunately, a lot of the patients that were going to be put on the ventilator were not going to do well. But when I texted them, the support I got from them was incredible. And it, like I said, it made it easier to just do my job and get through the day. And the support, that we had was really, really nice. Really.
Well, thank you all for your efforts. You are all healthcare heroes, appropriately, the COVID fighters. We'll end on this note. So you're blending a lot of different bands together, maybe some different musical preferences together. If people are hearing the COVID fighters for the first time tonight, what can they expect?
Classic rock and roll. Hopefully we do it well. We practice it, we get it right, just like medicine. Practice in music, and hopefully we contribute back to the community, right?
Absolutely.
Very well said.
It's all about fun. There you go.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. We cannot wait to hear that performance tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching Stronger Together. It's a virtual benefit for Good Sam, and we'll have more later in the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. So you may be used to seeing them in PPE and surgical masks and doctors' white coats, but you're going to see them just a little bit different tonight.
Absolutely. This is a whole different side of these guys coming in hot from the front lines of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We present to you the COVID fighters.
Welcome to the Argyle Theater. We're very, very happy to be here. We are the COVID Fighters Band. 1, 2, 3, 4! She was just 17, and you know what I mean. And the way she looked is way beyond compare. Oh, how could I dance with another? Oh, when I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I could see that before too long I fell in love with her. She wouldn't dance with another. Oh, when I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in my ear. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. Now I wouldn't dance with another. Oh, when I saw her standing Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in my ear. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. Now I wouldn't dance with another. Oh, when I saw her standing there. Well, since I saw her standing there. Well, since I saw her standing there. All right. Next song features Dr. Ed Lozides on the guitar. We're all very proud of him. I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping gently weave. I look at you all. Still my guitar gently weave.
Let's give it up for the COVID fighters. Outstanding job. We can't wait to hear more from them later in the show. We will. We're just going to take a quick break right now. It's a great time to remind you, you can still participate in the silent auction. You can also make a donation that would help out the emergency services at Good Sam. All of that information is on your screen, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back with more of The COVID Fighters. Thank you to our following sponsors for making all of this possible.
Hi, I'm Charles Ferraro, Chair of the Good Samaritan Hospital Foundation. I hope you're enjoying Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Samaritan Hospital. On behalf of the Good Samaritan Hospital Foundation Board, thank you for your support this evening and over the past year. All proceeds from Stronger Together will benefit emergency services at Good Samaritan and will support current emergency operations, the hospital's ability to quickly respond and scale patient care in the face of any crisis, the development and provision of important resources for staff to help them remain resilient, as well as pave the way for the future of emergency medicine in our community. Your support is needed more than ever, and you can make a difference right now. Text the number at the bottom of the screen to donate. You can also support Good Sam and the incredible healthcare heroes that serve our community every day by visiting the website below to bid on exciting prizes like beach cruises and sporting event tickets in the Stronger Together virtual silent auction. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome back. We're here now with Greg Testa of AAA Metal and Design. And Greg, you did something so cool for Good Samaritan Hospital. Tell everybody what you did.
Well, basically I made a metal art sculpture, which is the verbiage hope, with two hands that are kind of holding the word hope. And then, as we all know, very common, we've seen the rainbows throughout COVID, and children kind of, drawing that on windows and stuff. So I kind of incorporate that into the O of the word hope.
That's really beautiful. Where did you come up with this idea? I know this is your business, and you're an artist for sure doing this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell us where you came up with this idea.
I was basically just inspired by my family. They're all medical workers. I always felt like they're kind of reaching and they're kind of helping other people, and it's just like a joint just effort for everybody, and it just came to me. And really we all need to have hope during the whole situations.
That's
so.
all we have, absolutely. And I think I sure I can speak for a lot of people who work at the hospital, our frontline heroes, when they walk into the hospital and they see that and they feel that. How does that make you feel, knowing that you can give back in that way?
Very good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of did it for my family also because they're all medical workers, but I spoke with people from Good Sam, and even they're like tagging me online and stuff, and reaching out to me, and even like sending me text messages and stuff, and it's really, really good feeling, honestly.
I'm sure.
The impact felt really good.
Absolutely. Everybody just coming together in this community, each offering their services and their talents, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and you should be so proud of yourself, and I'm
Thank
sure
you.
a lot of people thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
Greg,
I
thank you
appreciate it.
so much, and we'll be right back.
I'm happy to be joined now by Mark and John Cronin, the founders of John's Crazy Socks. Guys, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so fortunate, and thank you so much.
Thanks for having us here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Sure. So, John's Crazy Socks, you want to introduce us?
Yeah, I'm John, and this is my dad, Mark. We are John Crazy Socks. Our mission is spreading happiness, and I fall back to 2016.
Well, hold on. We don't have to tell them the whole history.
Okay.
Way to go. What we've created is a social enterprise. And as John said, our mission is to spread happiness. We do that by showing what people with differing abilities can do. So there are three main aspects to our business. One, you gotta have great socks. Two, we hire people with differing abilities, so more than half of our workforce has a differing ability, and we want to show the world what they can do. And three, there's making a personal connection with our customers and with the community, and that involves giving back. Right, buddy?
That's right, Dad.
And what are the two things that you say drive you all
Yes,
the time?
two things is a gratitude, do for others, and so respect.
Right? And that drives us. It's a very simple idea. The more we do for others, the better off we are.
It's so wonderful, and that's really the reason for this type of a benefit is people in the community helping out. And I know the two of you were so instrumental to our frontline heroes at Good Sam. Could you talk about that effort?
Well, I don't know if we could say we were instrumental. What we can say is we wanted to do something to say thank you, to recognize the work of the frontline workers. So we created a line of healthcare superhero socks to say thank you and say these really are heroes taking care of us. Right? And we donate 10% from the socks that say this superhero wears scrubs to Good Samaritan Hospital. Because what do you say about Good Sam?
I said, I love Good Sam.
Right? And in fact, we brought with us the most recent check we have for Good Sam.
Oh, this is so wonderful.
So,
guys, thank you.
This is an evergreen contribution. Once a quarter, we bring money over because we really do love the work that Good Sam does.
That's wonderful. And if the people who are watching are interested in purchasing these healthcare hero socks or any of the great socks, where can they find them?
And we get the socks at johnscrazysocks.com.
johnscrazysocks.com, and tell them, how many different pairs of socks do we have?
Yes, we have 2,300 different kinds of socks and many choices. Socks, and more socks.
And that makes John here the owner of the world's largest sock store.
That's right.
Right?
If that doesn't make you want to get up out of your seat and go buy some socks, then I don't know what will. That's amazing.
And here's the deal. When people buy from us, they enable us to hire people with different abilities. They support our giving back, and they're helping us spread happiness. And what goes in every package, pal?
Every package you get, take a new album and candy.
Thank you note and candy. So we're competing with the Walmarts and the Targets and the Amazons of the world. But Jeff Bezos over at Amazon, he's not putting a thank you note and candy in a package.
I do.
I tell you, a thank you note, candy, and John Smile, you guys have it all.
We have been very fortunate.
Yes. I want to add something. I have Down syndrome. Down syndrome never holds me back.
Not in the least bit, my friend. Not in the least bit. I think if I had an ounce of your bravery and business acumen, I could maybe be very successful in life. Unfortunately, I don't. So I get to interview successful people like yourself. So, John and Mark, thank you again. And what's that website one more time?
Yes, I go at johnsquizzysock.com. You get a sock, and more socks.
Right, and thank you. And we hope everybody here will keep coming out and supporting Good Samaritan Hospital. What a wonderful place and what wonderful people that work there.
Thank you so much, and that's what this is all about. Stronger Together. It's a virtual benefit for Good Sam. We'll be right back.
A big round of applause to our sponsors.
In the fall of 2019, Catholic Health opened the Cancer Institute at Good Samaritan Hospital. Good Samaritan has long been the diagnostic and treatment center of choice for thousands of patients, but now we are so proud to be able to provide a comprehensive offering of cancer services in one convenient and comfortable state-of-the-art facility. In fact, Good Samaritan has earned the Outstanding Achievement Award from the American College of Surgeons Commission on Cancer on 5 consecutive surveys, 15 years in a row. Allow me to introduce you to 2 of our clinical leaders, Dr. Johnny Cow, Chairman of Radiation Oncology and the Cancer Committee at Good Samaritan, Dr. Ashish Sangal, Director of Clinical Research and Thoracic Oncology. One of the little-known facts about the Cancer Institute at Good Samaritan is that we have an active research program that regularly is involved in studies that develop advanced treatment techniques that offer superior outcomes that are not typically available locally for patients. Dr. Cow.
Oh, thank you. At the Cancer Institute at Good Samaritan, our mission is to achieve the highest quality cancer care for our patients in a sensitive, respectful, and compassionate manner. We're supported by some of the best tools, some of the most advanced technologies available. And we're also supported by the state-of-the-art Cancer Institute so that we can achieve the best outcomes for each patient with cancer in our community. Cancer care is evolving rapidly. The Oncology Leadership Group is heavily invested in continuous quality improvement across all cancer-specific disciplines. So we recently completed a 76-page comprehensive quality report. We showed that our surgical complication rates compare very favorably to national averages for breast, colon, liver, prostate, kidney, endometrial, and lung cancer surgeries. I'm particularly proud that our 5-year cancer-specific survival rates exceed the national averages for virtually all stages of breast, prostate, colon, endometrial, myeloma, and lung cancer. In terms of patient experience, over 99% of our radiation oncology patients would recommend our treatment center to another patient requiring this type of service. And just a word about research, which is generously supported by the Good Samaritan Hospital Foundation. Our team has published 15 peer-reviewed manuscripts focused on treatment advances for conditions such as prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, and metastatic cancers. New programs are in development to safely bring the newest developments to benefit our community.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cow. Thank you for that, and thank you for your incredible leadership that you bring to the Cancer Institute at Good Samaritan. It is really unparalleled in the way that you've been able to bring both the clinical and the administrative leadership together to help support this incredibly vital program. And to build on that, Catholic Health has recently affiliated with Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo, New York, to offer our patients community access to exciting new clinical trials. Dr. Sengal, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Catholic Health has partnered with Roswell Park Cancer Institute and that has given us access to nationally known clinical trials. Our partnership with Roswell Park has given access to our patients for clinical studies, which are latest in research with cancer-related treatments, providing them new novel therapies, and informations which are all around new research and techniques. So this is all available based on these great partnership that we have. In our clinical trials, our emphasis is on newer targeted therapies, molecular therapies, on diagnostics, and also immunotherapies. Catholic Health is one of the first institutes in the country who can provide vaccine trials, which is in combination with immunotherapies. This is currently that we offer to our patients with advanced lung cancers and also with head and neck cancers. So this has been a great achievement. Also, as we provide treatments, our emphasis whenever possible is to include technologies and also provide newer innovative therapies into our tailor-made treatments for patients. This is also in context of a particular specific patient and his specific tumor type. This is exactly what I call a personalized precision cancer treatment. This is the next extension of era of personalized medicine, and we're truly getting there. And I'm proud to be a part of Catholic Health as we venture into this new era of a very cancer-specific, personalized medicine where we're not only providing a comprehensive cancer care, but also providing innovative clinical trials to our patients.
Dr. Sengal, thank you very much for this. Gentlemen, I'm very interested in what the promise of genetics has to do with the treatment of cancer patients going forward.
Moving forward, we have definitely seen a paradigm shift in how cancer, rather than having an individual cancer, how it's treated. It's almost coming to a cancer which is based on a genomic profiling and also looking to the genetics from how, whether it's an acquired or it's a somatic, which we call, or a hereditary form of related to cancer. So definitely, as we look forward, there is a great role of looking into genetics, genomic profiling, molecular profiling of cancers, which can tailor-made treatments, which doesn't matter where the cancer is coming from. It depends upon what the genomic profiling of the cancer is, what is the genetic makeup of the cancer, and that helps us to use these innovative novel therapies, whether in a clinical trial or in a mix with clinical trials, and provide to our patients. So it's very exciting as we move forward.
That's great. Dr. Cow, can you tell us about some of the advanced radiation techniques that we use here at Good Samaritan?
Well, at Good Samaritan, we're lucky to have literally the best radiation equipment on Long Island here at Good Samaritan. We opened the Variant Edge radiosurgery program in 2019, and we were the first in New York State to perform hyperarc radiosurgery for patients with brain tumors in 2020, thanks to your support.
Thank you very much. Doctors, I can't thank you enough for your commitment to Good Samaritan, to our patients, and to our surrounding community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Were you ever out in a grocery store when you were younger and maybe you saw your teacher there and you said, wait a minute, is that Mrs. Smith? Well, a similar situation here at the Argyle Theater tonight, because we have some very talented medical professionals who also happen to be rock and roll stars. So if you're looking on stage, you may see your pediatrician, or in my case, the anesthesiologist who was at the birth of my first child is rocking out in a tuxedo t-shirt tonight, and it's glorious. So without further ado, I present to you the COVID fighters.
Thanks very much. This is a Eric Clapton Cream song, and we love it, absolutely.
Crossroads, fell down on my knees.
you can feel the energy and excitement at home tonight because the Argyle Theater is rocking right now. And the best news, it's not done yet. We have a grand finale coming up after the break. You're watching Stronger Together, a virtual benefit for Good Sam.
My name is John Murray. I'm the owner here of Kilwin's Babylon Village, Kilwin's Patchogue Village, and also the Hero Joint in Patchogue. We've been here since April of 2012, so we just celebrated 9 wonderful years, and next April will be 10. It's crazy to say. I mean, everybody was confused. I'm no different. You know, I have young children at home. I have 3 businesses, like many business owners. I have a good amount of debt to pay off. It's very confusing. I mean, nobody knew which way we were going. So my sister-in-law is a overnight nurse at Syosset Hospital, and you know, my in-laws and my extended family, they wanted to organize some food for her unit, and of course I'm in the food business in a couple ways, so I was involved in that. And the backstory on that was she was working like everyone, you know, long shifts with N95 and all the gear, and working overnight, and you know, she had to have an ice cream sandwich for breakfast because there was no other food. I guess that was all that was in the vending machine. I was like, no, this is, they're dealing with a nightmare. She has to be, well, she should be well nourished. Everyone she works with should be well nourished. And then as I peeled back the onion on this, I realized that all of these hospital systems, not just Catholic Health, all the big hospitals, totally overwhelmed with this. And I got to give a lot of businesses credit. There was a lot of food trains in various towns going to these hospitals, but a lot of it focused mainly on the day. So I got really aggravated by everything, and I started a GoFundMe campaign, and we focused on the night shift because like my sister-in-law, oftentimes the night shift got overlooked, and they were doing everything the day shift was doing, but there wasn't as much food and nourishment for them. So we started, and we've fed hospitals from Peconic Bay Medical Center to LIJ New Hyde Park, and you know, Good Sam is right here in our backyard in West Islip. And for me, it's personal too, because in 2019, my father had a massive heart problem, and Dr. Schlafmitz at St. Francis saved his life. So we paid it back. Yeah, I mean, Good Sam has been very supportive to us here, and for 9 years. You know, I'm a product of Catholic education, so supporting Catholic health is always important to me, and Catholic Health Services has supported our little business, and I know they support other businesses in the area, so supporting them at their time of need was a no-brainer. Well, I have to give a lot of credit to my co-founder, Justin Heath, and his wife, Megan, who was fully term pregnant working at New York Presbyterian, 12-hour shifts, informing people that their relatives have passed away. But what it involved mainly was I started a GoFundMe page. You know, people started sharing it on Facebook, and then people, I thought I was the only person, I thought I was crazy to do it, but people started coming out of the woodwork, former Nassau County cops who worked the night shift, people whose family and whatever are involved in the hospitals. So I came up with a large volunteer army, I call them, who on their own time, with their own gas, potentially at their own peril, went into all these hospitals. We met at my hero place in Patchogue. It was closed, like a lot of places, so we used it as a warehouse, and we would load up a couple times a week. It sounds crazy, but when you break down Nassau and Suffolk, and then you have multiple people driving in each county, you really can feed a lot of people. So at the height of it, we were dropping off at between 12 and 15 hospitals, feeding between 1,200 and 1,500 medical personnel each night. It's crazy to think about, but yeah, I mean, we got it done, you know. Yeah, I got all types of messages, people I knew, people I didn't know, hospitals all over Long Island. I do know a lot of people who work at Good Sam just because of where we are here. I can tell you, when we first started doing this, I walked into the ER at Southside Hospital with some yogurt and fruit, and the ladies at the desk started crying. They're like, "This is for us?" I'm like, "Yeah, enjoy. Like, you guys got enough going on. Here's some food." And you could tell we really touched them. especially the night shift. As we got through the worst of it last year, mainly we were focused on helping the crisis, and the main thing I've been telling people ever since is it's very trendy right now to want to support medical personnel, and it's very on the tip of everyone's mind. But I think given with what people have dealt with in the last year, I think medical people and anyone involved with these hospital systems are going to need a lot of support moving forward. I liken it to them being through war, their families, the sacrifices, hospital systems like Catholic Health, all of them throughout Long Island. Everyone wants to be involved, everyone wants to support them. There are numerous ways to support them. I know it's tough financially right now, but anything anyone can do financially is obviously big, but it's just something I want people to remember for a very long time, what everyone went through, and not just now, not just last year, but continue that support for the rest of your life, basically. They deserve it.
We are here with two really special guests. We're here with Brooke and Jamie DePalma. You guys, your organization is called PS I Love You. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we started PS I Love You Day nearly 11 years ago after we lost our father to suicide, and he was really a community hero. He was a retired NYPD officer. He was also an ex-chief of the West Isa Fire Department, and so when we lost our dad, we decided to take the last 3 words that he said to us, well, to me specifically, which were I love you, and we really turned it into a nonprofit organization that really looks to advocate, to educate younger students about mental health and really the community overall, and now it's really expanded.
Yeah, so we have over 200 schools that partake in PS I Love You Day, which is the second Friday in February, and it's where we encourage communities and schools to wear purple, and our hopes is that when these students and adults come and see everyone in purple, then they know that no matter what happens in their lives, they have a support system.
And that is so big right now. And for you ladies to do this and been doing this for a while now is just amazing. So I know when COVID hit, you guys wanted to really step up and help with that and with Good Sam Hospital. So tell us a little of what you did there.
Yeah, so we actually teamed up with another honoree, which is John's Crazy Socks, and we had purchased a huge ton of socks, and we decided to donate them along with a small message to the first line responders at Good Sam. And during this time, depression, anxiety, stress is an ongoing issue, but it really is the next crisis that we're going to face, is specifically for these frontline workers. And so we really wanted to, brighten their day with these socks.
And we wanted to make sure that they, every day they go into work, know that what they're doing is so special and that they're needed.
That's really amazing, guys. Any future plans of what you want to do with the organization and where you want to take it next?
I mean, right now we have about 250 schools who celebrate across Long Island and the tri-state area, even across the country, as we reach people, through social media, or even people who move and they want to bring it to their new area.
So in the next couple of years, we're really looking to not only have it in the school base, but we also want to, really target the adult community as well, to make sure they know that it's important, self-care, self-love, and just taking care of themselves, because how they feel is also going to affect their children as well.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, you are doing amazing work and so young, and you should really be proud of yourself. And I know the community thanks you for everything that you've done. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.
I'm Bernadette Burns, Superintendent of Schools of the West Islip School District. So I began here in the West Islip School District as a teacher in 1993 at Udall Road Middle School. Subsequent to that, I had the good fortune to serve as principal of Captree Elementary School when we first reopened it back in the year 2000. Became principal at Udall Road Middle School, then assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, and I've served as superintendent of schools for the last 8 years. Well, of course, it was something that none of us expected. We have been dealing with health and safety issues as superintendents, as school districts, for as long as schools have existed. But this was something that caught everybody by surprise. Initially, it was a matter of, oh my gosh, can we be affected? As schools started to close down and then subsequently as communities started to shut down, of course, fear rose everywhere. We often say that our community is our schools and our schools is our community. And Good Samaritan Hospital is a part of that community. Over the years, over the decades, we have watched your organization grow and flourish as ours has. And we've had the good fortune to be able to collaborate on a number of different projects, professional development opportunities, and it's been a very positive, productive relationship between the two. Having that regular, open line of communication, when we became aware that PPE was an issue for health organizations all over Long Island and virtually all over the country, one of the things we wanted to do was ensure that we were able to support our neighbor, Good Samaritan Hospital, any way that we could. We also had an opportunity to let our students participate in the support. And kids love to be able to give. You know, as much as everyone loves to receive a present, children love to give a present. And one of the things they did came from the heart with their cards, their artwork. We were able to collect hundreds of such items and donate them to Good Samaritan. And they were thrilled to find out how much that was appreciated. That's such a wonderful way to receive that, because we've had kids there that said, oh my gosh, I saw my picture on the wall or on the window in the waiting room or wherever the case may be. So thank you for sharing that. So very much so. I suspect, or I know, that Good Samaritan Hospital and the West Islip School District are the two biggest employers in the community, and many of its employees work here, live here in West Islip. And we were aware that a number of our family members either was affected by COVID as a victim, most of whom gratefully are fully recovered today, but also affected from the perspective of caring for those who were victims of COVID-19. From an instructional perspective, we've all learned a lot about being very flexible. We've learned a lot about using technology. But I think the most important lesson for everyone is to recognize how fortunate and blessed, truly blessed we are to live and work in a community such as West Islip, and to be able to collaborate with Good Samaritan Hospital on a regular basis. I think we've both learned a lot about each other in this whole process, what we can and cannot do to support each other. No, just that how appreciative we are on behalf of not only myself, but the community and the district for, I could say Good Samaritan Hospital, but it's for each individual that is associated with Good Samaritan Hospital, and for everything they did to pull us out of this with the compassion and the skill and the professionalism that they did. We are incredibly grateful, so thank you.
Well, we are here with two really special ladies. We have Kelly Peckholt and also Danielle Vergano of the Babylon Village Chamber of Commerce. And ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And I heard that you were a big inspiration for our whole shindig here, right? You did something similar?
We did for New Year's Eve, yes.
That's awesome. I saw it and it was fantastic.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about what the Chamber of Commerce has been involved with in the last year. A lot, for sure, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, on a normal basis, we throw festivals and all sorts of events that help to bring customers into the business district and just to help boost our members and their businesses. But of course, when COVID hit, we had to completely pivot, just like every business did too. So we initially started just sending out resources and getting on Zoom calls with our members and just making sure they had the information they needed to move forward. And then we decided, really like the end of March, it came together, that we wanted to do something that would kind of twofold: support our businesses and then also give back to the community too. So we started a GoFundMe page, and we raised money. We raised about $2,500 off the GoFundMe, and then Teachers Federal Credit Union gave us $5,000 on top of that. So we had $7,500 total to buy meals from restaurants to send to Good Samaritan Hospital for a bunch of different shifts over the course of a full week. And then we also purchased retail items and gift cards from our salons and our shops to do little care packages for nurses too. So it was a really great thing.
And I think it's amazing because if you think about it, you two are local business owners. Why don't you mention your businesses real quick?
I'm from Rumor's Gift Shop in Babylon Village.
And I own Positions Dance Studio in Babylon Village.
So you two ladies know more than anyone how hard it was to get through this year, business-wise. And you still stepped up and said, you know what, we're going to help. Even though we might be hurting, we're going to help the people who are really trying to combat this. So what was that like for you?
It was the least that we could do at the time,
Absolutely.
you know, because we couldn't do much more than for ourselves. So we were giving back to our community. And my mom is a former employee at Good Sam, and it just meant, I know what it meant to me to have people like the nurses and doctors working in the front line. So it was just really important to give back to the people who needed it the most at the time.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys have done amazing work, and the community thanks you. Everyone thanks you, and best of luck with your businesses.
Thank you.
And get out there, shop, walk around Babylon Village, enjoy yourself. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
A special thanks to our sponsors. Back with the COVID Fighters.
Welcome back, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We appreciate you spending your time with us, and we want to say thank you again just one more time to all of our sponsors, specifically our presenting sponsor for the evening, the medical staff at Good Samaritan Hospital, as well as E.W. Howell Construction and Progressive Emergency Physicians. For the final time tonight, folks, proud to introduce the COVID Fighters.
Keep on rocking, everyone. There's colors on the street, a red, white, and blue. People shuffling
Thank you very much.
Our presenting sponsor,
Well, that concludes our tour for now. I hope that you have enjoyed learning more about some of the new programs and services that are available right in your own backyard. None of these advancements would be possible without your generous philanthropic support from you, our friends, and the community. Your support is vital to our success and helps us continue to invest in our facilities and programs so that we can fulfill our mission of providing you and your family with the very best care possible close to home. On behalf of our patients and staff, thank you for your support. Your generosity has a profound impact on the work that we do at Good Samaritan. Take care.
Wow, that was amazing. The COVID fighters are phenomenal.
Unbelievable. They're incredible. I want to get their album.
I know. Doctors, they play music. Talk about the double threat.
How about it? Not only talented medical staff, very skillful musicians.
So good. Thank you to them. Thank you to everyone who has gotten involved with this benefit. We cannot thank them enough. Between the frontline heroes and the community, you have done so much to help through this pandemic, and people could still do more.
Absolutely. There is still time left. There is a website on your screen right now if you'd like to participate in the silent auction. You can also still donate. Text Good Sam to the number at your screen right now. Get those last donations in.
Absolutely, because every little bit helps. So thank you to everyone. Once again, the community, the frontline workers, everyone. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.